And now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our tireless champion, our borough president, who somehow manages to make it to every community event. I've seen her at countless family day affairs throughout Manhattan, countless night out on crime events, countless community board meetings. I don't know when she sleeps, but she but without further ado, please welcome our borough president, Miss Gale Brewer. Thank you.
Thank you. It is great to be here. What's that gadget? He has a gadget that is the coolest thing. It is solar.
This is a solar charger.
Look at this thing.
So this is something that.
If you like gadgets, like I like gadgets, is that a military? Is it a military from the military?
I'm not in military cover, but I bought it in New Mexico. It has a USB adapter, and it will charge. It charges my phone if I go to the park or somewhere, and I have all of my gadgets. I just lay
He
this
has
in
a
the
lot of
sun,
gadgets too.
and this keeps all my devices charges.
All of these blocks feed that square thing at the top.
Right.
That feeds your phone.
Right, it feeds my phone. It will charge a cell phone. It charges the iPad, but this particular model won't charge a laptop.
How about the radio?
It'll charge a radio. Small devices, it will. So it's great. I bought it on a trip in New Mexico, visiting Earthships.
I think so. Next time, what you should do is just have a gadget show.
That's a good idea.
You know, my gadget. This is mine because I just have. I keep this up to date in terms of the charger. So this is a charger that can plug in. You know, same idea. Somebody gave it to me in a goodie bag. So I mean, these little devices are fun, but it's no joke if there is an emergency. And I have been to, many discussions. I want to thank Stu and I want to thank Doug and all the folks from Harlem who make this possible. Sometimes you forget that this could happen, but all we have to do is look at what folks are going through in Wilmington, Delaware right now, to know that it could happen. So can't imagine, because we all read about New Orleans, Puerto Rico, right here, Lower Manhattan, all parts of Queens and Brooklyn, and we weren't prepared. And in terms of being prepared in the big sense, with ways in which there wouldn't be any storm surge, I don't know that we're ready on that level either. That's a whole other discussion about government policy. But the information that we need to share is what today is all about. And I do think that not everybody has the transistor radio, but we all have cell phones and we all have the ability to figure out how to use the lights that the cell phone provides. I think that the notion that we aren't prepared is something that we have to change. And literally in your house, you have to think of that go bag. And obviously, some of us here have it because we are concerned and we want to make sure that it exists. But the other thing that CERT has taught me, and certainly we learned from Sandy, is whoever in your building needs help, that list also has to be available. Because when the elevator goes out and when somebody's in a wheelchair, that's perhaps most important, that they need that kind of help. CERT can help do that. CERT can come to your building. Harlem can come to your building and explain how management and the residents work together. The other thing is animals. People get very attached, understandably, and there needs to be some application opportunity for the animals to also be saved, not to mention children and the entire family. But there are people who, during 9/11 and during Sandy, were very, very upset because that issue was not addressed. So I think, particularly we live in a large building, there has to be a constant discussion because all kinds of emergencies can be taking place, not just natural ones. So how you look at the medicine also, all kinds of discussions need to take place on that. The food and the water, all of those need to be ready in case there's an emergency. And, we don't think about it as something that's number one on our list. I have a little go bag that I keep in the house. I'm not sure that I keep the batteries all up to date and that I do it on a regular basis like we should. But it's just being here today means that you're going to focus on that. What we don't always focus on is what I brought out at the beginning, is others in our building who might need help. And does management have that list? Does does a tenant association or the co-op board have that kind of list to be sure that people who need help are going to be able to get it? That's not always available in any kind of systemic way. So it is National Preparedness Month. It's a good time to focus on these kinds of issues. I think that we know, for those who've been to Puerto Rico since Hurricane Maria, what happens when you're not prepared, when there's too much government nonchalance, not to mention during and after. We all have that kind of discussion. There really are no excuses for us in New York City to be unprepared, because we've been through this, through Sandy, through 9/11, and local disasters have also taken place. All of that needs to be on our minds. And it's not the thing that we want to have number one on the list, but if you're prepared, it gives you a certain level of comfort. God forbid something should take place. This weather is crazy, so we don't know about natural disasters, but those who live near any kind of a coast, the surge protector discussion, Lower East Side is what I know the best, Rockaways, parts of Brooklyn, parts of Queens, in addition to the Rockaways, have not been fully protected. To be honest with you, there's a lot of discussion about, do we need to have a large device near the Verrazano Bridge, or is each community going to access something locally, all of which costs millions or billions of dollars, to be honest with you, in terms of making sure. So while that discussion is ongoing, we need to be prepared in our households. And those discussions, for those of you who live on the Lower East Side or know people who live on the Lower East Side, are definitely ongoing. In fact, the Battery Park City people are discussing it, and all the people in Lower Manhattan, because as you know, that got really, really flooded during Sandy. So I'm just here to be supportive. I just want to thank everyone here, because there's no time in which CERT and the folks from Harlem are not constantly paying attention, bringing these issues to our attention year after year after year. And I wish that we could do, like, what we should be doing is to give every single New Yorker a go bag that you could fill and change the batteries and change the water as time goes on. But that's not always possible, so we have to create our own, whatever is important to you. And I look forward to working with the groups that are here, because you really are special, you really are concerned, you really are committed to making sure that people are prepared. So thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it, and we all need to work together. This is not a one-person operation. This is a collaborative operation. There is no other way to achieve our goal, which is keeping everybody safe. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Manhattan Borough President Gale Brewer. And Ms. Brewer, before you go, would you please come back up to the microphone? Gale Brewer has been an incredible supporter of WEBT, so we're presenting this award of appreciation in grateful acknowledgement of your untiring efforts in support of WEBT and Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day on this day, September 13th, 2018.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Gale. Okay, thank you.
Way over the top.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart, but thank you, everyone, for understanding the importance. This is a real honor, totally a surprise, but I am really, really humbled. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Photo op.
Look at her, look at her. Thank you guys so much.
Okay,
This is way over
thank
the top.
Okay, did everyone get their go bag? If not, please see Cynthia on the way out. She's got go bags right there at the table. Want to thank everyone for coming today. We had a great turnout, great speakers, great presentations. Any final questions or comments from folks? That's it for today. We're done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Harlem Emergency Preparedness Day 2018. Thank you.